The National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
This administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
My dear Nigerians, today marks the 19th year of our nascent democracy and the third anniversary of this administration. I am thankful to Almighty God for bringing us thus far. This administration came at a time that Nigerians needed change. The change we promised and the change we continue to deliver. We have faced a lot of challenges on this journey, and Nigerians have stood by us in achieving the three cardinal points of this administration, namely security, corruption, and the economy. The commemoration of this year's Democracy Day is a celebration of freedom, a salute to the resilience and determination of Nigerians, and a recommitment by the government to keep its promise to lead Nigeria into a new era of justice and prosperity. Public safety and security remains the primary duty of this government. Before this administration came into being 3 years ago, Boko Haram held large areas of land spanning several local governments in the northeast. Today, the capacity of the insurgents has been degraded, leading to the re-establishment of authority of government and the release of captives, including happily 106 Chibok and 104 deputy girls and over 16,000 other persons held by Boko Haram. In order to minimize the impact of the insurgency on internally displaced persons, government has established secure IDP camps and has improved the mechanism for the distribution of basic aid, foods, and essential commodities using various strategies in collaboration with local and international organizations. Efforts are in process for resettlement of IDPs in their home communities by providing schools, hospitals, clinics, water, and sanitation to facilitate a quick return to economic activities. Government is similarly implementing de-radicalization and rehabilitation programs to facilitate sustainable peace and development. The unfortunate incidences of kidnappings, herdsmen and farmers' clashes in several communities, which have led to high number of fatalities and loss of properties across the country, is being addressed, and the identified culprits and their sponsors shall be made to face the full wrath of the law. All the three tiers of government are presently engaged with communities and religious organizations to restore peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. I want to commend members of the multinational joint task force drawn from Niger.
All right, good morning, Nigeria, and of course, this is democracy. So I would start by saying happy democracy there to Nigerians. And I know most of us are at home, while most of us are in the studio. I'm sure I'm not feeling any less that I'm here, because I have people with me who will do justice to what we have today. So if you sit tight to your television set, you have a number rolling now on the screen. You can call us, make your contributions or your question. What we have today is our democracy. Of course, we are not doing anything less from what we have today. And of course, that was the president's speech. Now, we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, I introduce my guest and we'll go straight into what we have today. Again, happy Democracy Day to you all Nigerians.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background, and today we are here in TSTV, and that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
All right, welcome back from that short break, and today I have Dr. Lomefo in the studio with me today, and I have Mr. Goodman. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for honoring us into the studio today, and I'm glad I know the viewers will be able, they will enjoy what we have today. Now, again, is Happy Democracy Day to Nigerians, and straight on to you, sir. Now, we have enjoyed 19 years of uninterrupted democracy.
Oh, well, that in itself is a mileage, and it's a level of achievement, for which the country should be grateful, to God, because historically we haven't survived this long.
Yes.
And the problem is not that you don't have military in place. The problem is that you don't have democracy yet in place.
After 19 years?
After 19 years. And regrettably so. There is a difference between, civil rule and democracy. Civil rule is the rule where you don't have a contamination over the democratic process by the military.
Okay.
And the people who are there are civilians, so to speak. And in a democracy, it's a different ball game. Democracy speaks of the will of the majority. Right. That is to say that the adults, men and women, who have the capacity to reason, are involved in who governs, determining who governs them, what the policies should be, what the projects should be, who should do what. That is democracy. Now, if you take that simple definition, better, fashioned by Abraham Lincoln, government of the people, by the people, for the people, it is perhaps the simplest definition ever and captures the essence of democracy.
Now, are you saying we are rather observing civil rule than democracy?
That's the point I have made, and I stand to be corrected. I'll tell you where we got it wrong. When the 1999 Constitution was not really conceived and crafted by Yadudu and others for democracy to really find its place in Nigeria. The Constitution did not provide for internal party democracy. What that means is that a handful of people that call themselves National Working Committee of a political party can decide who flies the flag of the party. From ward to the office of the president, cutting off the entire party membership. When you do so, when you hand over the flag to somebody that was decided by a clique and not by the party members, you oust democracy completely. What will happen now is that even in the inter-party election, it follows forth, because the representative Abenizio is not representing the people. His allegiance, even when he emerges, directly or indirectly from the people, will not be to the people because they never chose him.
All right. Please hold it there, sir. Mr. Goodman, today is Nigerian Democracy Day. Now, away from all of the distraction we are having, what do you have to say about today? Have we really achieved what we are supposed to achieve? Have we really thrived in a correct and a complete democratic dispensation as a country?
No, my answer is no. I want to differ from the Abraham Lincoln's definition of government of the people, by the people and for the people. I see it as government of some people for themselves and their family. We have uninterrupted 19 years of looting, not democracy. Out of the 19 years, 11 years is used by ex-generals or former head of state. Minus 11 from 19. What do you have?
8.
Just 8 years for some privileged civilians and who were installed again by the same soldier. So what are we talking about?
Now, are you saying we are practicing military rule in disguise?
Yes, extension of military rule. I'm waiting for one of the former head of state again to succeed Buhari, if not now, certainly later, because they have the money to buy the vote or to buy the people. When they were in power, they would divert the money, and then the loyalty of Nigerians is to money, not to individual or leaders or people. Your leader is defined or determined by the size of his or her account, bank account, and assets the person is able to amass when he had the other chance to work, to rule. Right. So we are being ruled, not leader. Leaders take the pain for the people to enjoy, but we are taking the pain for them to enjoy it. So you conclude it yourself.
All right, sir, going down to the 3 cardinal points that we saw the president raise in a speech this morning. He talked about the cardinal points that saw the administration coming to power. I like the smile on your face, sir.
I can't help but smile.
He talked about the 3 cardinal points. He talked about security, he talked about the economy, and he talked about corruption. Where are we?
Well, the president expectedly scored himself very high. Scored his administration a success. But the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I don't know. Sometimes I have this feeling that Nigerian leaders don't live in Nigeria. They create a cocoon in which they live that completely shuts them away from realities. The president says that, he has succeeded in fighting corruption, fighting
stabilizing the economy,
security, and stabilizing the economy.
Can we start with where?
You know, let me start with security.
Okay.
Yes, let's admit that Boko Haram is no longer as potent as it used to be. Let us agree that Boko Haram has been de-escalated, downgraded, but certainly not defeated. Even the United Nations said so a few weeks ago. And the actions of Boko Haram up till this, in fact, up till yesterday, the killings were still going on. There is a record, there's a report, there's an international report, which I would like you to cross-check, that states that Boko Haram is still collecting taxes in some places in Yobe and Borno State.
Wow.
Oh yes, you are a journalist, you can confirm this and take it on later on. What does that tell you? They still have control of areas of Nigeria. Because you can't collect taxes, from places and people you don't control. We still have over 100 Chibok girls, 3 years down the line, hold in somewhere.
But in that speech, you saw Mr. President mention Chibok girls as part of the victory.
Yes, part of them. Jonathan recovered some. He recovered some. Over 100 are still in there in Zabisa Forest or wherever they are being kept. You can't keep 100 people in a place and still claim that the people don't control where such people are kept. And in fact, by government admittance, the number of Nigerians being kept, taken away, detained, some killed, some being converted by Boko Haram, run into thousands by government admittance. The question is, where are they being kept? What that tells you is that Boko Haram is still strong enough to hold territories, no matter how small.
All right.
Now, when you come to the issue of fighting corruption,
I would want us to take it one after the other.
Okay. Now, then let me conclude on security.
Okay.
No matter what we have gained from security, we have lost to, headsmen, rascality and rampage. Unchecked. The president said that the perpetrators would be brought to book, right? They will be apprehended and brought to book. I've been hearing that statement from government after government since I was born. The question is, since these promises have been coming, how many people have been, tried, convicted, and made to pay for the murders that have been committed in the country? As we speak now, scores, hundreds of Boko Haram, members are being turned back into the society. The claim is that they have now denounced Boko Haram. Do you believe that is the best policy? What methods? I'm a psychologist. For us, we have ways of measuring a true convert where it comes to the issue of terrorism. Terrorism has to do with ideology. It goes beyond religion. For one to claim that he or she has converted back to normal secular life after going through religious terrorism, there are tests that must be administered. My check is showing that such tests are not being fully conducted.
Now, what's the difference between Boko Haram insurgents and the Niger Delta?
A word, I just mentioned it. I just mentioned the difference.
Okay.
There is a problem, there's a world of difference between an ideology and a political struggle. The struggle of Niger Delta, militants is a political struggle. It's not an ideological struggle.
Okay.
That's the problem. So, ideological struggles are different from political struggles. Political struggles are economic struggles. Ideological struggles go beyond this to get into what you call psychological control, mind control, complete brainwashing. And that is why they are able to undertake extreme activities like suicide bombing. You need to understand the transformation the mind of an individual would undergo to be able to take his or her own life and the life of others. It's not an ordinary psychological process.
All right, Mr. Goodman, from what we got, the speech we got from the president, security have been I wouldn't want to say defeated, or is part of the three cardinal points the president said that the administration have been able to combat with for 3 years they've been in office. What's your reaction to that?
Uche, the security is so large. It shouldn't be all about Boko Haram alone. And Boko Haram are very infinitesimal, and the war is still going on 3 years after. I want to believe that Boko Haram, no matter what, they're not up to 1 million Boko Haram members. I want to believe, and you can confirm that. Fighting the entire country, and the war is still on. Tomorrow, Sakrao has been killed. Next tomorrow, he will deliver a speech. 4 days later, he has been killed again. 6 days later, he will do a video show. Outside that, the rest part of the country is not safe. The entire country is being controlled about 80% by kidnappers and armed robbers. In Lagos, there was a kind of a cultic killing the other time in the east, and in the middle belt where it has been turned to abattoir for human meat. Herdsmen, they are in control here. We're waiting for government to declare total war against them, like it has been done with the Boko Haram. Herdsmen is in the center. There's no Sambisa forest here for them to hide, but they are yet to be fished out. Occasionally, we'll see some persons, police, what will tell us, they will tell us these are herdsmen, and they don't look like one. So how are we sure who is speaking the truth?
Okay, now hold it there. Now, talking about the economy, look at where Nigeria is now economically. I don't know if these governments have been able to do what they promised us, or if what we are seeing on ground as Nigerians is in compliance with the speech that the president just delivered, that the government has been able to, push the economy to optimal level.
I don't know. There are indices that measure economic growth and development. And any discerning, objective mind should be able to compare Nigerian economy today and Nigerian economy as at 2015. It's very simple. The GDP, the value of your currency vis-a-vis other international denominators, like the dollar. We know what it was when the administration came in and where it is today, and the billions of dollars being used to cushion the naira to even stay at 360 or more. You need to understand the amount being spent by the Central Bank of Nigeria to shore up the naira the way it is. That means if the CBN were to allow the naira to go freely on a demand and supply forces on its own, we would be witnessing more and more free fall of the naira. You ask yourself, what is the implication of sustaining the naira in that manner? That is a story for another day. Let's look at the president's position from this perspective also. The president says that the economy is not buoyant. You and I know the economy is not buoyant yet, right? Yes, some successes have been recorded, in the area of agriculture, right? But of course, the push was on, before the administration even came in. During the time of the former Minister of Agriculture, I can't remember his name now, but I will with time. So the aspect of the economy is nothing new, really. Increased rice production, and they have only increased the quantum. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which, of course, is commendable. But even at that, we have not been able to exit any staple food import. Rice is still being massively imported. We haven't exited wheat, beans. These are staple foods that we can never do without. we have not been able to, exit any of the imports. That means we haven't conquered that frontier also. Then you come to the general economy. One index that you will never take away with is the issue of employment. Their own bureau, of statistics is recording that we have greater unemployment today. So what are we saying? If the economy is growing, do you understand what I'm saying? Employment will be shrinking. The issue of inflation is another index that you can never take away. The inflation rate by the time they came in was almost a single digit. Today, it hasn't come down, seriously from it should be hovering between 15 and 17. That means that, there is what we call toxic leadership in social psychology. Toxic leadership is living a place worse than you met it. That's the picture I'm trying to paint. It is so. If they want to say that things will get bad before they get better, let them admit that things are still bad. There's what we call the Jacob, in any endeavor, economic endeavor. It means that things will have to go down before they start going up, right? That's called a Jacob. Fine. We are still going down. That's the point I'm making. And we had expected an analysis from the president admitting that these are the problems. But they're giving this and giving that we are likely to start moving up. We haven't started moving up. Unemployment is still growing. And finally, on economy also, when you look at what you call the disposable income, right? The amount you can do away with, right? Money doesn't move around anymore. Why is it so? It's because of the pattern of economy we are running. It means that your disposable income is not only shrinking, it is also shrinking the number of people you can help, because you can't help yourself. You have to first help yourself before you can help your dependents. And we run a dependent social system where you, a worker, all your relatives that are not doing anything will have to look up to you for something.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Okay.
This is no longer happening. People are getting more and more desperate. So for the president to say that the economy has improved, I can't check it out against some of these, what we call economic indicators. They are not, apart from in the area of agriculture, which is only still minimal. Every other aspect is not just moving. Look at the budget. Yes, if you check the budget implementation rate, it's still not up to 50%. And the only aspect that is always 100% plus is a recurrent expenditure, where they take care of themselves. And what is the parity between the recurrent expenditure and the capital expenditure? If you get 25% of capital, in the budget, as budgeted, you thank God. Usually it's an average of about 20%. Then when you come to implementation of the same capital project, when you know that the capital vote is the only area where the masses benefit, hospitals, roads, schools, security, and so on and so forth, the implementation is hardly 50%. That means even the budgeted 20 to 30%, only 10 to 15% gets implemented where it comes to capital. And we had expected that this administration will change this. They haven't been able to change that. What that means is that the same budgeting system run by the PDP that had been faulted by them before they came to power, they said that they will run what they call zero budgeting system. That means you start from the scratch and build and so on and so forth. They abandoned that. In fact, they didn't even try it at all. They went back to the same PDP budgeting process. In fact, APC and PDP are indistinguishable.
All right, sir, Mr. Goodman, going back to looking at the economy the way it is, like I asked him, against the background of what the president said, that the economy is stable. As part of the 3 cardinal points this administration has been able to take care of, according to the statement that he gave this morning. So what is your take on that?
Thank you very much, Uche. Definitely, economy of some persons is very, very stable. People like the senators, ministers, governors, and few in that clique. Because if you can earn up to 10 million a month, I think you can stabilize your economy, you and your family. So economy of the country at this moment has no direction. And what is economy? You need to pump money into the system. Individuals are controlling their own economy as it is now.
Please can you hold on? I think we have a call. Hello, good morning to you. I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Sorry? Okay, you're calling from where? Sorry? Okay, please, can you go on? Okay.
I don't know whether you have ever come to the north or not during the crisis. Actually, I don't know whether you have ever come to northeast area that Jonathan Iran under that Boko Haram crisis. A lot of those people that are out here are moving away from the area, leaving us around. Look, every blessing day when the bombs, my children are raised by traumatic situations. But now why? Please talk with sincerity if you want to talk. Ask the people that are living in that area, let them just not somebody that is living in Kanawa to come and talk about not just or something else. If you can just hear what the media are saying, because of the Nigeria sentimental, people are not sincere. If you are not you are not out there, you start criticizing and accusing. Please, let me tell you, where the people is there. What's supposed to be what used to be when it comes to democracy? We have to change our attitude and behavior. I'm asked you're supposed to support government in an area where they are weak. In an area where they have done well, you support them. I'm not a government official, I'm not a politician, but we have seen trouble in that manner. Never seen it in my life.
All right. Can you hold on? Can you hold on? Let me ask you this question. Now, your own take is in the aspect of security. Are you saying that the government has done commendably well?
Very, very well.
Okay.
Well, he's not there. He's not there. That's why he's talking. Government has done so much that I've never seen.
All right.
Let me tell you, the security system is perfect. And even most of the advanced countries, you can see these shooting crisis everywhere. They just connect.
All right.
I want to ask that man.
He's hearing you.
Look, if you go down to emergency, while the evacuation of people have an accident, but you pay your attention seriously, you see how those treat those people. When you see somebody is crying, shouting, is better off.
Okay.
Somebody that remains calm, cool, doesn't talk at all. This is the people that this is the particular person that doctors pay their attention on in order to make him cry so that he can survive. Look, those people that are crying now today, they are better off than when they are crying. If they are not better off before, who are you going to cry to?
All right, thank you very much. I will still want you to react to this. Coming from him, he says that the government has done very, very well when it has to do with the aspect of security. Would you please react to this?
Yes, I want to talk to that man. He has a perception of me. Maybe it's like they say, don't judge a book by its cover.
Please, can you hold on? Can we take this call together?
Yeah.
So you react to it. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Alibakar. I'm from Borno State.
Borno State. Please, can you please turn down the volume of your TV set?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
The issue issue of insecurity, one of the analysts what has said our own truth. You know, right now we're in Maiduguri. We cannot able to go to our local government without security escort. Then there is no agriculture. You cannot take Maiduguri to 5 kilometers. So it is very difficult for us to make our conduct our economic activities, our agricultural activities. All these are still going on.
Okay.
God bless that.
Now, are you saying that in the aspect of security that the government still have a lot to do on that?
Yes.
Okay.
What government is supposed to do, government should change security strategy. If Nigerian government cannot defeat Boko Haram, let Nigerian government invite UN security forces to come and defeat Boko Haram as what was happening in Mali.
All right.
As French and other European countries defeated insurgents from Mali. We need to do that. We urge government to do that.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, thank you very much. We are having two sharp contrasts that words from two different people.
Yeah.
And it happens that two of them are still living in the same northeast. This last caller just called from Maiduguri, Borno State, where we are having this high rate of insurgency. Sir, you were in something. You react to the person that directed the question to you quickly, very quickly, while I leave Dr. Lomefor to react to the last caller.
The first person, like I was saying, has the perception. He's speaking like a supporter of the president. And he sees me as somebody who is against the president or against North. I am a Northerner.
Okay.
And let him know that my name is Farouk Umar. I am from Kogi State.
All right.
I work round the clock to ensure the emergency of Buhari. I was the state secretary of APC Kogi State that brought this party into power. So let him know that he's not talking to somebody who did not know what's happening.
All right.
I was talking the reality. I speak the truth as it is or as it's were now.
Please, would you just hold on? Hello, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from, please. We lost the call. All right. Your reaction to this is you also feel the pain of the Northerners. It's not like you're an outsider.
As I'm sitting down here, I can hardly go home. I'm from Ida. There's a particular place that every day there must be one kidnapping, robbery or twice a day.
State?
Yes.
Okay.
Every day in that place. So we were talking about entire security. Boko Haram is an aspect of the security. It's one aspect of the entire security.
The
whole
gamut
of security
have
in Nigeria.
Boko Haram being defeated? That is the question.
If Boko Haram is defeated, why are they giving them more money? What are they still hanging over there to do? So the issue of defeat is not there. Like I listened to the news this morning, they say about 100 Boko Haram converted yesterday or so in the national news this morning. So if 100 can come out, even 100 is enough to fight the war they are doing. So if 100 should come out yesterday, they came out from where? And how many are remaining in the bush? So who have you defeated?
All right.
You know, let me just add a bit to what he just said. The strategy appears wrong to me. You know, the strategy of trying to defeat and eliminate Boko Haram completely. The converts, if they are indeed converts, have only one way to prove it.
And which is?
To confront Boko Haram itself.
Yes.
All right, please hold on there.
That's the truth.
Please hold on. Good morning to you. Oh, we lost the call.
Do you understand what I'm saying? There is no other way to be sure that they are converts other than getting them to confront Boko Haram. This is not happening.
Now, the last caller talked about if we can't, as a country, we should seek for international community help.
Correct. He's right. Now listen. We are not the war. The war is not being waged in the way and manner we will win it.
All right.
Do you understand the point?
All right.
Well,
Please hold on, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set?
Hello?
All right, go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Are you hearing me now?
I can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'm with Ariba from Kaduna State.
Ayuba from Kaduna. How is Kaduna today?
Yes, Jamal local government.
All right, please go ahead.
Please, I have a little something to contribute of the issue of the insecurity.
Okay.
My contribution here is that, like, what if the gentleman was talking, honestly, the Boko Haram was not defeated.
Okay.
And he said so, if the Boko Haram was defeated, what are their security doing?
Okay.
Unfortunately, there is that the federal government has a lot of things to do for defeating the Boko Haram.
All right.
Because up to today, the mind of some of the security soldiers and police are dying there. And
Okay.
nothing federal government has been ahead of them.
Okay.
The women are became the widow. So they did not give the security morale to fight Boko Haram. So at least what you're saying is the right thing for them. The federal government is part of to fight the right of the citizens of Nigeria and to make sure that they bring peace to the country. Especially the security soldiers and police are here. Honestly, if I can even to tell you the amount that has been dying, after seeing you in television, you wait here. So honestly, security there are people that are supposed to be pity for them. And the politicians know what is going on there, they're supposed to fight for that issue to make sure that the fight is a good equipment for them. So that you can treat them once and for all, so that you should rest in Nigeria. That is what I was trying to contribute. But for the issue of the democracy, honestly, I did not see anything that when this gentleman was talking about his party, okay, is criticizing what the president. He did not, but he's trying to tell the reality.
Okay.
Because that is good for the democracy. When you think the truth, you should stand up to people and tell the truth, and that is the truth that you have said.
All right. Thank you very much. Sir, you were saying something before we had this call.
the way the strategy for me appears to be wrong. You know, we ought to, our military, you know, no matter what it takes, ought to recover Sambisa Forest. Inch by inch.
Now the question is, why is it taking this long?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, there are factors.
Ever since
there are factors. One, the vastness of Sambisa Forest.
Okay.
Two,
is that a factor?
You know, no, it's a factor. It is because if you have a vast, you know, space to, you know, occupy,
now,
you need time to do
if
that.
you are talking about vastness, are you saying we don't have enough military manpower or personnel to, you know, go around Sambisa Forest?
It's not that we don't have enough, right? I think it's partly the strategy, the number deployed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Just hold on. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
All right. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Adibukar. I'm from Borno State.
All right. Please go ahead.
The issue of economic recession, we in Borno State, we haven't seen any progress.
Okay.
Because, you know, if there is no agriculture, there is no life.
Okay.
You know, here, Borno State is just like outside Nigeria. Why? Because we can't, you know, even as a civil servant, even right now, I'm a civil servant, but my salary is worth more than 11,000 naira, and I have 2 children and 1 wife.
Yes.
11,000.
How do I manage my life as a civil servant? And we have nothing to do. You cannot cannot go outside Maiduguri for 5 kilometers.
Okay.
Unless Boko Haram will steal you or will just seize you. So, what government should supposed to do? Government should provide adequate security to come and defeat the Boko Haram. Then our economy of development will recover. Otherwise, people are dying. People are hungry. People are not eating. Both inside and outside Maiduguri. I'm telling you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes,
know,
we are here dealing with the same matter.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. Yes, sir.
Economically, religiously, socially, and so on. So make this advisor should inform this problem of our government to come and rescue us from this critical situation.
Now,
all right, thank you very much there. Thank you very much.
This is on the spot assessment of the situation, collaborating our position largely. So it's not as it's genuine, out of genuine concern that we're profiling these solutions. See, the way you fight insurgency and terrorism, that have taken territories, when the military moves in and conquers, right, the police takes over. The civil population, move in.
Sorry, sir. Please, could you just allow them to?
Why not?
Hello, good morning to you. Please, where are you calling from and your name? All right.
You understand what I'm saying? It follows a pattern. It follows a process. The army conquers, takes back the territory.
Okay.
The police moves in, right, to establish civil authority, right? Then other arms of security will move in, like civil defense and so on and so forth will move in. Then the civil population will move in. But if you check what happened in Dapchi, a few weeks ago, it's obvious military left, and there was no process. There wasn't an occupation of the place by the police. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Are you saying there's no actual collaboration?
The pattern is not. Of course, we have always seen that inter-agency rivalry, but that is not the issue here. The process,
Sorry, sir,
process has a problem.
All right. Good morning to you. Please, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm from Gombe.
Gombe. Okay. And your name?
My name is Garuba.
Okay, Garuba.
You can look at the geographical location of the Northeast. Those particular places where people are looking compared, this is the place where the crisis started. And the predominant part of this area, they are most peaceful, look that up, but you overlooked it. They are being farming everywhere. Yes, you go to Africa, they are being farming everywhere, including the area and all this energy.
All right.
There is no part of the body that we can hit overnight. It has to be gradually. When part of the body are healed, there must be part of it gradually will go up. And if one side go up, clearly not so. But not everywhere in the Northeast.
Okay, now, my question to you is your area safe enough for you to say that the government has done enough on security?
They have done, even including part of northern dam, for instance, from Biu and Kiowa, even part of the Yobe Damatu, all of them are safer area.
Now, are you saying, all right, hold on, are you saying the persons that are calling from Borno State, they are not saying the actual fact?
No, what I'm saying, that is why the part of the country started.
Okay.
They still have numbers of small hidden here and there, of which they can hide within the community you may not even know. So therefore, you cannot generalize everyone because of one single person spoke. You can ask part of the over. In one farmer order, they are picking up. You can drive now, you can from people, you can take vehicles up to farmer and come back without security. That's called an everywhere.
All right.
So government has done much to us. If we do not much to you, but you're doing good for us.
All right, thank you very much. All right, sir.
Yeah, I was talking about process. You know, you follow the pattern, military conquers, police moves in, and so on. And I say that what happened in Dapchi shows that this process is not being followed.
There is no synergy.
There is no synergy. There is no articulation of the security processes that must be engaged to get this job done and cleared out. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been easy, access to Dapchi in the way and manner they had to take the over 100 girls that they eventually returned, leaving Leah, Shaibu, and maybe one or two others. The point I'm making here is this, that we need to overhaul the entire, anti-terrorism fight architecture to evolve strategies. This is not rocket science. Countries have passed through this, and we cannot reinvent the wheel. You say some Boko Haram members have confessed, you have forgiven them, you throw them back into the society. No, you throw them back into Zambeza forest. That's one strategy. You let them confront themselves. You have two factions of Boko Haram now. You have the Shekau, faction. Then you have the El Badawi faction. Why have you not been able to instigate a fight between the two factions? They will eliminate themselves and make the fight easier. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then, if you cannot succeed in doing that, these returnees, confessors, and their converts should be formed into a third force that will confront the main force. You call the Boko Haram, both the Abadawi faction and that of Shekau. If you cannot succeed in doing this, you haven't helped the country. The reason is obvious. These people may regroup when they get back into the civil society, and our condition will be worse.
All right, sir. It's obvious we can't touch on corruption because of our time. Maybe we'll continue this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, straight on to a reaction to the calls we're having. Some are saying that the government has done enough on security, but some are saying they are living examples. Nothing is happening. They can step out from their houses because of the issue of security. We are still there, sir.
Yes, I have a message for the Chief of Army Staff. Before America could make a pronouncement on the issue of these terrorists, what do you call this man from Arabia? This man was killing.
Are you talking about Osama bin Laden?
Osama bin Laden. Sakao is our own Osama bin Laden. The only way, we are not waiting for the army or forcing the army to announce result of the war. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we want to see Sakao captured live or dead. If you are arresting a bus conductor for an accident, you have not done anything. You have not solved any problem.
And to get the driver.
You need the driver of this bus, not the bus conductor. Sakao is there, Abu Banawi, they are there. The only way they can tell us that they have defeated Boko Haram is these two persons should be arrested or killed. We want to see their dead body or living soul. Then we will announce the result to the world. The Nigerian army, they have won the war against Boko Haram. Are you
saying each time that this announcement is made, because there's no proof of either them being dead or alive, it means it's nothing?
They are even annoying them to react. They would say this and they will go to one village. Look at, just in January or thereabout, they came to Dachi to kidnap over 100 persons. 100 persons. And they in a motorcade convoy. And they drove straight to where they went to hit them. And it took the international community, intervention of the international community, to negotiate their release. It was never done by Nigerian army. We are aware of what happened. This is a security issue. We don't want to go deep into it. But it was done, intervention of international community to save it. So they really need to work. Like now they have ordered for 2 jets. The jet will be ready in 2 years' time. What are you going to use before that time? Why do you pay so much for that jet and you're going to have the delivery of that jet in 2 years' time? So all we need is...
Was that a wrong move?
Definitely,
or it was a right move, but
I think
not at the right time.
They need to use that money to recruit more soldiers to fight the war instead of paying the foreign people so much foreign exchange.
Doesn't mean we don't have enough security personnel. Like I asked you that question.
We don't have enough. About Nigeria alone, the whole Nigerian military soldiers, they are not up to half a million. About 420,000. Is that enough for 200 million people?
You know, I would say that the number of soldiers is not the problem. The problem is priority and strategy. Nigerian soldiers are keeping the peace in over 27 states in Nigeria. Those soldiers should be in Sambisa Forest, fighting the clear and present danger.
Yes.
But they are in the southeast dancing python. They are here and there dancing a crocodile smile and stuff. You know, so it is getting our priority wrong. That's where the problem is. You can't deploy a whole battalion, if not a brigade, to go and fight on armed IPOB members, leaving where your problem is coming from. And as you're doing that, there is further de-escalation and spreading of the fault lines. The headsmen are gaining more and more ground. Yesterday, they sacked a seminary, shot a priest, beat up another, dealt with the students. Just this yesterday. So whoever is saying their fault lines are not spreading, do not want they don't want to face the reality the way it should be. The final line I want to draw is this.
Yes, sir, because of
Let us remove politics from national security. Can we come together, review our anti-terrorism, anti-militancy strategies, the architecture, and face these things the way it should be faced? I am against pardon for terrorists. They are not, because of the issue of ideology. The only way they can prove that they have changed is that they confront Shekau and Ebanawi directly. Anything short of that is unprofessional. It's a no-no. It is going to boomerang, remember, today.
All right. Your last was just in a few seconds, because our time is fast spent.
Taking stock of what has happened, if you just oppose it, we are losing. We have lost General, Colonel, Brigadier in this war to this reference. It's so sad. So there should be full concentration on Nigerian security. Once and for all, to stampede that forest, no matter the name called, no matter whoever is hiding in that or those that are there, they should pull the force there to once and for all. Not even the lies, the ants there should survive. And that will bring to an end.
Right, thank you very much. We are so sorry we can't pick more calls. We continue this discussion tomorrow. We were not able to really finish on security, and we have not touched on the issue of corruption. Let's remember, there were 3 cardinal points the administration came in with, which our president have reiterated this morning in a speech talking about the achievement of the administration in 3 years. He talked about the economy, which I think we have dealt a little with. He talked about security, which we are still on. And he talked about fighting corruption. We'll continue the discussion tomorrow, so stay glued and stay tuned to the station. Same time tomorrow for more interesting episode. Continue with the presidential speech, and I pray I will still have this gentleman in the studio with me. Thank you very much, Dr. Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Goodman. Thank you very much. And to our viewers, please, this is how much we can take. And from me, Uche Uduma, is a sign out from National Discourse. And again, to Nigerians, happy Democracy Day, regardless.